I just realised how much of a crazy person I must look with all these cars scattered around. Everything's just up in the air. Expect a vlog from me every 6 months now. Oh damn, I thought I had this all figured out. Oh my god, my battery's gonna die. Let me just replace the battery. I have so much to do right now and I'm just not functioning. And I'm wondering if I got a bit carried away. Okay, this works, kind of. Hey, it's been a long time. I am trying to remember how vlogging works. I just was in the mood to pick up the camera today. And so here I am. I hope you're all well. And thanks if you've been waiting for an update. I have been filming bits and bobs really sporadically across the last few months. Very small clips, like nothing substantial. Let's just pretend there was like no break and get on with the vlog. So this is my calendar. I'm using a yearly calendar again this year. I think it helps me stay the most focused because I can see the whole year and I'm like, oh shit, we're almost halfway through the year and I haven't done this. No, kidding. I have a really packed schedule for the next 2 months, so I think I'll be able to take you along with me and yeah, enjoy the vlog. And it's good to be back. Thanks for having me back. I have no idea what the state of my channel is right now, if people will even see my videos, but yeah, let's just have a go. I haven't vlogged in a while, but that's okay. I go through phases. I've been working on something. I sketched these designs out originally in like April, but I never got around to finishing them. They're the new Junkie charms. And I just think they're the cutest thing I've ever made. Printed them out to test the size, so here they are. Of course I made a mistake first. They came out in black and white, but here they are in colour. They're just so cute. There's even quite a difference between these charms and the black and brick ones I made earlier in the year, these ones. I want to create a back design for these ones too, but depends how difficult it is. But first I'm gonna actually ask for a sample so that I can make sure the print quality and the colours come out correctly. Here's Key. It's funny because this whole time I was working on them, I was most fond of the Jun sketch, and like I spent ages, like not ages, but I spent more time painting him because I was being a bit finicky with the details, and then Key I just blasted him out like straight after in like half the time. And I end up liking the Key one more. Just kind of, you know, ironic, but things work out that way for some reason. I'm still waiting for sketchbooks to arrive. I couldn't get them via airmail because of the price. It's increased greatly since everything went down this year. So the shipments take longer to arrive and there's no tracking, so I don't know when I'm gonna get them. Hopefully within the next week. Although it's almost December and I don't like sending orders out during holiday periods just because of the slightly greater risk of losing parcels or the extended transit times. So try and avoid Christmas period, but I don't know if I'll be able to this time. I went for a softer palette. I always feel like I want to tweak his design a little bit, but OC's design themselves at this point, so I can't really force anything necessarily. I'll get the samples printed and then I can show you what they look like as charms. And then I'll order a big batch. Originally these were going to be for the zine, as perks. I think that is a good idea to do, but I also am just impatient and want to put these up. Today I'll be working on Sketches 2020. It's a weird project to work on right now because I do like the idea of at least stopping at this point, at least having a 2020, because 2020 is such a round number. So it would be nice to have a book released in this year. At the same time, I don't know if the material is there enough content to really justify having it printed, or should I just go for the digital version? I'm wondering how jarring it might be to look at my work all in one go instead of having it like this gradual change, because I feel like this year has been a transitional year, and I was expecting last year to be the transitional year, but it actually is taking me even longer, maybe due to the events of this year and like other things and just my own like self growth. It's taken me an extra year, which I'm okay with. I'm actually pretty proud of myself and like happy with like all the other aspects of my life that I've managed to kind of grapple with and bring under more control and have more like systems to deal with certain things, because I don't think life is just about work, and like you can't pin all your value just based on like how much you're getting done work wise in each particular year. So every year is different. Like you may have worked on your health more in one year and done less work than the previous year, but that does not mean that that year is discounted at all, because that year you work on your health is so important to your overall life, like quality of life, and it's so important to you as a person. And so yeah, there's no like trade-offs or anything. I think I'm less risk averse than other people when it comes to the way I structure my work. But a lot of your, sorry, my shoulders just hurt. My shoulders. It's a bit tense here. But yeah, a lot of it is just letting go of others' expectations of you and being humble enough to start from scratch in some areas, because that's what's interesting. Instead of kind of locking yourself into like your past self's ideas and way of thinking, I think it's very important to be able to like flexibly but yeah, it's a good skill to have, to be able to iterate on your ideas rather than kind of sticking to like the same plan over and over again, especially like with all the innovations that happen every day now. I guess that's where I'm at right now. I know I say I've only been doing this for like 3 years full time, but I have spent a lot of years before that drawing and like kind of building up my shop and doing things on the side, and my priorities are probably different to a lot of people's. It's really not what you do that makes it fulfilling. It's actually the freedom to explore what interests you and do it in a way that helps, obviously do it in a way that is sensible and that enables you to create wealth, but at the same time like still giving yourself that opportunity to explore your interests and your ideas. And when you can balance those two things, I think that's where like the magic happens. But a lot of it's actually recognizing within yourself like what your interests are, doubling down on those for a while, and then also recognizing when you're doing things that aren't in your interest and kind of like letting them fade off eventually, so then you can move on to other things. And you kind of have to go through all the stages. So before you can get to knowing what you want to do, you have to go through phases of doing things you probably realize you don't want to do. Nothing is ever like a waste. My goal is always to feel the same. Right now I do feel like so fulfilled and happy with what I'm doing, and it's not because of the work I'm doing, it's actually because of the way I've changed how I see everything in my life. Those are the things that can't be taken away when external circumstances change. So for example, say if I broke my arm, touch wood, and I couldn't draw for a while, I'd still be fulfilled in a way where I can like explore other things until my arm heals. But yeah, it gets easier. That's what I want to kind of tell you guys. It gets easier. When I think about how much internal growth I've made this year alone, it just kind of blows my mind, because I did think I was kind of sound in my emotions before, but It's nothing compared to how where I am right now. But obviously I still have like a long way to go. Like, you don't know what you don't know, so it's very important to keep trying to understand things and not become someone who thinks they know everything. And life is full of mystery. There's so many things that I wish I could just like talk about with you guys, but maybe it's more suited to a podcast style and I could just ramble about a certain topic without any visuals and expectations, and just hopefully share some insights into like doing this and what my thoughts are about it. It's not really something that I want to do about what I do. It's not about my life. It's just about thoughts and like ideas and how it's all interconnected with doing the art thing at the same time, and just like using myself as an example, but it's not really about me. Which, yeah, I think I might explore that, because I did try and do a podcast, a mini podcast for Patreon like last year, was it? And I only did like 3 episodes because I don't like talking about myself. I feel like I would be better in a conversational type of podcast where I would have somebody to riff ideas off. But yeah, it's not a priority for me right now, but I also think it would help me in articulating some of the thoughts that I have regarding this type of career, and this emerging type of career starting to establish itself and starting to pick up some speed with others. So it would be helpful for people who want to make that jump and to explore their own ideas, because I think everyone has so much to give and contribute, and it takes a lot to be able to kind of break away from the trends and like the mainstream stuff to actually think about your own interests and ideas and like experience and kind of like perform some miracle to like bring it to life. But yeah, there's just a lot of noise right now, and yeah, it's difficult to have a clear mind in those spaces. But actually I think the social media thing and doing art and selling art online through those platforms is actually a really good start, and how we can give ourselves a boost into having that type of freedom and creativity and separating ourselves from working like a contractual job or 9 to 5 or with clients, if that's what you want to do. Because there is like a model, I think, that you can kind of rinse and repeat, but once the market gets oversaturated with certain ideas, it's like that's when you have to be a bit more thoughtful and think, okay, it's time to move on from this model and transition into something else that is more, and if that feels right for you at the time, to transition into something else. And I'm kind of like at that bridge point, and I've seen other creators do this, maybe in like different fields, like podcasting and like YouTubers, like people who make videos, they transition to like different types of outlets and like the way they produce work. So I'm just following in their footsteps really, but trying to do it within the art sphere. Though I have always been mindful about not building myself golden handcuffs, because I was always very aware of that trap. And I also know my limitations, and I don't prioritize work over like other aspects of my life. And to me, like, drawing is actually the way I communicate with the world and the way I express my emotions, or at least this body of mine, or at least this consciousness expresses its emotions through this body. And so I kind of let that happen naturally without getting in the way too much. And I think that's what helps me keep this like very light attitude and fondness to like what I'm working on, because there's like no expectation really of how it will be received or how it will do on the outside. But because I trust the process, it's like it tends to have a good outcome. It's hard to explain, but I think the only way I can start communicating the idea is to start talking about it a bit more and be more open in that regard, because I think the audience for this type of conversation is a lot smaller, and I've always been comfortable with smaller audiences, so in a way I'm okay with that. But at the same time, it's just vulnerability. Art is a weird one being here, because I often feel like I would rather be one of those anonymous artists, you know, who just put out the work and you don't know anything about them. But at the same time, I feel like understanding the person and the artist is also kind of important, to recognize that though that there is like a person behind the art, but at the same time art itself is so like powerful that it kind of stands on its own. Though I feel like, yeah, I feel like myself is more of the brand. My art is like its own thing. So when you hear Tricky Wagon, it's not just the art you think about, it's like the whole brand together. In a way, it's like, often I've wondered if I should separate them, or like have a new handle for certain things I want to make. But I think I do feel like people could tell that it's my art, but then also a lot of my characters are already associated with this name, so it's not that I can like separate them. Having a public image is a bit hard. I think people should think about it a lot more before actually doing it, and there are obviously benefits to it. There's benefits to it for sure, but there's also, like, depending on your personality, there's also a lot of negative parts of it. What I just want to tell you guys is that it's so important to think for yourself and to not just tell people what they want to hear or what you think sounds good. And actually, you're better off hurting someone's feelings by telling them what you think and what's really on your mind than actually just kind of pandering to them, because it doesn't help either of you in the end. It's better to create that kind of conflict and the rift and have the other person question that, and so that you can both kind of grow in a direction instead of kind of staying in the same kind of back and forth. Like, probably not the best way to word it, but I think some of you will know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, that's enough for today. Just want to show you I'm going to show you these for one last time because they're so cute. I think they'll come out a bit more vibrant when they're printed as charms. I don't know, this could be a whole video on its own, so maybe I'll just upload it as it is. Happy New Year to another year. Thank you for being here. This year was like a non-year. I think it would be appropriate to reset the calendar to 0 after 2020 and just be like, 2020 didn't exist. We're starting again from year 1. Hello, long time. No filming. Been so busy lately. Just want to show you the amount of charms that I just got, the junky ones. Oh, so many. They came out really nice. They're double epoxy. It's the first time I'm doing a double epoxy design. There's a back now. Cute, right? Gen 1. I'm going to be making packaging, the simple one I have. I've been streaming every weekday on Discord. It's been really fun so far, and I feel like I'm getting a lot done. I've just been like packed this month with appointments, classes, streaming, and just like shop stuff and getting the book together. Quick clip of the key charms with the packaging, just because for archival purposes, maybe a vlog will be made if I just film random things. Oh, he looks so cute. I don't know if I showed you the Jun. I'm getting a reprint of about half of them. Some orders are going to be delayed because of that. It's 4 PM already and I packed one order so far. But that's how it goes sometimes. I'm working on Sketches 2020. I changed my setup a little bit. So I was formatting the book using my Dell monitor, which had a very low resolution, so I couldn't really fit a lot of the layers and like the workspace. And because like I'm formatting the book, it has like literally hundreds of layers, which is ridiculous, but it gets really hard to manage. So after maybe a month of that, I thought it's time to upgrade my monitor. So in the end, I got this new one. It's the BenQ. It's fairly old. It's from 2018, the model itself. So it's 4K, it's IPS, and it shows 100% of the sRGB, and I think another color profile, but I can't remember which one. I was just looking for the sRGB one because the Adobe RGB ones are just like, they're like $1,000 or something, and I do not want to spend that much. And I have the Cintiq anyway, so if I did want to color match to Adobe RGB, I could always use that instead. I was using that like with the monitor in its normal position. and it was working well. I could see all the layers and like the workspace is really handy. However, I still had to keep zooming in and out because I was working on each page one by one and like flipping through them, and it was just getting really tiring, like looking back and like trying to figure out what sketches could go where on which page and like turning on and off the layers. So I don't know, I took a break and then had this epiphany of like, okay, what if I like rotated my monitor 90 degrees and just laid out all the pages and seeing if I can do it on Clip Studio, because I know on a PSD file this would probably be impossible. This canvas is currently 20,000 pixels this way and like 35,000 pixels down and at 600 dpi, so it's like a beat. It's over a gigabyte, this one file, and I'm backing it up like every time I save something. Or I'm really happy with how I have it set up. I just thought I'd like show you guys because it might be easier for you to do it this way too. I can now see every single page, so it's great, and I can zoom in and work on each page too. So these are I think they're about 130% bigger than the print file will be, but because I've done them at 600 dpi, technically they are bigger than that. They're full-size pages on this one file, and there's about 22 pages here, and the whole book is going to be about at least 80 pages, maybe 90 pages. So this file is going to end up like spanning, I don't know, I might move this whole row down there and then like have 4 or 5 columns this way and then like 20 on the side. So I have most of them done. I just have a few leftover sketches to like reorganize where I want to put them and see if I can combine a few pages, because I don't think I actually need that many pages. If I can improve the layout of some of them, then I will. And then I've got to add color. That stage is the fun stage. Like adding the color is the part that is, it's not stressful. Like like I wouldn't say this is stressful, but it's very like it's a huge task, so it can be overwhelming, and I just have to take it day by day. And I'm like, okay, I'll just move these files. But now that I have this and I can see everything, I think it'll be so much faster. And I wish I kind of thought about doing this before. Because it's just easier to see what will look good and where. And when you zoom out, you can see the composition of each page a lot clearer. Also, when I rearrange the pages too, I can see what goes where and like with the flow of the pages. Yeah, I am making good progress. This one has been quite a big project for me this year because I didn't realize how much I sketched last year. Just out of like, how would I say it? Out of like, a lot went on last year, and I just like, drawing is my coping mechanism, right? So I draw a lot of stuff, processing all of that, which is good, I guess. But then it's also just, I've been taking a lot of like classes lately and trying to keep on top of my studies and my other projects. So I just really want to get this out to you guys, so then you can have something, because I've been away for so long and I'm just like, here, have my sketches and enjoy please. And then I can consolidate everything I learned the past year, because I've had like assignments and stuff, but I haven't been able to review or like practice what I've been like learning. I've been trying to like branch out a lot more when it comes to like my skill set. So there's things that aren't in this book really, but I've been drawing more backgrounds and like, I guess, practicing perspective and things like that. And I'm really enjoying it actually. It's weird when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, because it really shows you how much you've been holding yourself back, I think. Oh, this clip is a lot of talking and not a lot of visual. Here, let me show. I got this earlier in the year. It's 3D total anatomy model, so I will just show you him whilst I blabber on. I've been getting used to not really being on social media, or at least posting my art on there. And I feel like my relationship with my work has changed, and I'll probably talk about that more at some point. I feel like I go through cycles of it being really great, and then cycles of it just like feeling like, oh no, I'm missing out, or like the FOMO feeling. But I have to always keep like tabs on that, because I grew up posting my art on social media, and it's just something I've just been super used to. I very quickly remind myself as to like what I want to create and like why I'm working this way, because I think it's easy to forget your past emotions or like how you were feeling in a certain circumstance which made you decide to change it in the first place. So I'm trying to remind myself like why I decided to take a step back in the first place. And I'm actually really glad that I filmed those vlogs talking about the reasons, because I find it even useful to myself to like rewatch certain parts of the vlogs to get an understanding of my past self and like my reasonings, and like just reminding myself like, oh yeah, that is how I was feeling and this is why I'm doing this. Because it's easy to kind of like fall back into old habits unless we reinforce the thought patterns. Yeah. So I just found out that Clip Studio Paint's pixel limit is 50,000 pixels. Such a flustered mess right now. Okay, hi everyone. Sorry, excuse my wet hair. I just really wanted to grab my camera right now because I don't know why, I'm just feeling really giddy about this. So I wanted to maybe film it. Maybe I'll have a vlog soon. I don't know. So I'm in the middle of preparing Sketch 2020, and the pre-orders are currently open right now, and I actually still have to finish, sorry, just noticed something on my screen. I still have to finish a few of the pages, about 8 pages left, so I thought I might as well extend the pre-order until the 15th of June. But I already have ordered 2 samples to check for like the file, not the file types, the paper types, and also check the colours a little bit. I know the colours will be slightly different for the final order, just because these are different printing process for larger quantities. They use digital printing for just like lower quantities, and then I think it's litho printing, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they use that process for like quantities over like 500, something like that. And so the final will be printed with litho, and so the colours will be slightly different. But I just wanted to see what the artwork would kind of look like on recycled paper, because I really want to make most of my products more eco-friendly and use like recycled materials where I can. And yeah, I've just been staring at the book, and I've tried to open it a couple times, and I'm just like, oh, like freaking out, even though it's like incomplete. The other thing is, when I sent this sample to print, I didn't finalize the cover. I just used well, I kind of finalized the cover, but then I thought I could be better, so I ended up painting the cover instead, with like these very light, soft pastel colors, which a lot of you have told me you really like, so I'm very happy about that. It was a very new type of painting and palette for me to try, and like the book's on pre-order and the listing is on my shop, and it just looks a bit out of place because I don't usually paint with such low contrast, and I thought, oh, it looks a bit strange, but I do really like it. I think it will turn out good. But then I'm looking at these ones now and I think, oh man, these look really good. Like, I really like these ones. These ones. So I'm not sure if I will print the book like, I'll print the cover like this and then have a slip cover with the painted version. So then it's like both covers, but I have to see how much that costs, because yeah, I don't want to add like too many extra costs because it's already kind of out of my budget almost, like a lot of the things. So I don't know, we'll see. It's very tempting after I've seen these covers, but we'll see, because the other thing is I had to have one with the cover that is, okay, just show you. So this is the one which has a thinner spine. There's the spine. I think it's like 7 point something millimeters, and it feels really thick anyway. It feels really nice at this size. This is 180 by 180, by the way. This one's Sketches 2018. So it's slightly smaller, but it is thicker than this one. But they feel very similar to hold in the hand, and so I like it because it feels really chunky. Whereas Sketches 2019 felt a bit less substantial because it was a bit bigger and thinner, so it was a bit more floppy. But each year is different. So for this year, I had like 0 expectations for like how thick the book will be, and I'm actually quite surprised that it's thicker than 2019, because I feel like I didn't really draw actually for the first half of 2020. It's only the last 4 or 5 months where I just kind of drew a lot because I was processing a lot of emotions and going through a lot of things, like personal things. So I think I just was like, I need to like draw, and like it's a kind of form of meditation for me. I'm just still figuring out ways to explain it. Anyway, that's why I have so many sketches in 2020, surprisingly. And then I also just kind of been playing around a lot and experimenting a lot with this one because I haven't had to like post the art, and I haven't had to make a vlog about it. Not that I don't mind sharing you on the vlog. I very rarely show you artwork on the vlog anyway. It's just not something I've had to have in the back of my mind, because I do think like if you are making a product and if you are sharing it, there is that kind of there's an extra pressure, I feel, that sometimes can be a hindrance. Sometimes it can help, like give you motivation and encouragement, but other times it can be a bit stressful. I'm sure you know what I mean. Anyway, I should probably show you at this point. Anyway, that was the silk cover. So the cover itself is not recycled silk. It has to be just regular silk. But it's really nice. I guess it's the same as this matte one. And this was the temporary back that I made. It's 8-bit. And then I bought another sample. So the inside pages of this one are recycled silk. So at least the inside pages are recycled. And then there's this one. Because originally I wanted to print this just recycled silk without any laminate. Sorry, yeah, I didn't explain that. It has matte lamination. They recommended for it to have lamination because it can get damaged in the post, and I can see why, because this one's uncoated without any lamination, and like the edges are just completely mashed in the post, like that bit ripped off when I opened the envelope. So that is a little concerning, but I feel like to have the recycled paper, it might be worth it. I don't know. They both look quite good, I don't mind, but I'm quite into this textured look lately, so I might go for an uncoated cardstock and then have the slipcover be laminated, but I don't know yet. I don't think it would be worth it if I printed another sample, because it's quite expensive to order just one copy. I had to be extra in order too anyway to check the paper types, which I didn't really have to do, but I think because this is my last sketches collection for the meantime, I wanted it to be as good as it could be. God, I haven't been on camera in age. I feel like I've aged like 10 years in the last 9 months just because of like stress. Oh my god, I just blinked for it. Oh my god. I don't want to like look through it really, because I kind of want the final thing. I don't want to get attached to this version because it's mostly black and white, and I've added color to like most of the pages now. Just like sit here and not look inside. I think this thickness is about the same as 2018. Here it is. Very similar. Oh my gosh, it's so nice, guys. It's so nice. Holy crap. I can't look at these. I'm just talking to you, which is not the best footage to have. I don't want to spoil it, because maybe in this vlog, am I even making a vlog? I have to decide if I'm making a vlog, right? What if I do a vlog? No. I just don't want to spoil. I mean, I could show you the cover because the cover might change, or the cover kind of has changed, but I just ruined that for everyone. The thing with social media is like, you can share everything you're doing in your process, but then it takes away from the people who purchase your work and who want that first-hand impression, because I always really enjoy that part of unboxing when I've bought an art book, because then I just don't know what to expect. And so when I receive a book that I have like not much little idea to like what the contents is, it's like such an amazing feeling compared to like collections where I've seen most of the artwork online already. They're still nice to have physically, but they leave less of an impression. But I don't know what to do, because I was thinking of posting some sketches on Instagram next month in June. Kind of to see, there's two reasons why. One is to make sure people who do follow me know that I have a new book, because obviously with the algorithm not everyone sees my posts. And then two, to see if my account is actually like salvageable, because at this point I feel like it's kind of my fault for like leaving it stagnant for like, how many years has it been now? 2-3 years. I'd say I haven't really been active properly since 2018, but I think things kind of changed during that point for me, and my attitude towards Instagram changed, so I just haven't really been engaged as much since then. And so yeah, that's why my account has like slowed down, and I'm okay with that. It's just that I would rather have a small account and then have everyone obviously who's already following me on my main account migrate over. Not everybody, I mean like people who are actually actively engaged and like who go out of their way to actually see what I'm doing, like check my updates, because those are the type of people that I want to reach. Having this account with like followers that probably half of them don't even see my posts, it just makes me feel like there's just no point in having it, because all it does is give me like huge anxiety after I post something. Yeah, I'd rather just have a small account, because I do have a side account anyway, and that is so nice to post on, because I just throw things on there and it's like literally no expectation whatsoever. Shouldn't make this clip like super long, but yeah, if I make a vlog, I guess this is gonna be half of it. Maybe I'll just make this vlog, and then the next vlog will be when I actually get the final book, and then I'll do a flip through for you then. Like I was saying, I'm posting a few things next month to see where my account is at in terms of engagement, if I am active, because technically I can't say like my account is not getting reach because I haven't updated, so I have to make sure I'm updating before I can make that claim. And I guess I just haven't been updating, so it's fine. Like, it's just stressful. That's all. Like, I just find it like unnecessarily stressful, and I don't know why, because I know that it doesn't affect my business that much if I post or not on Instagram. So I feel like it's just from past experience of using the app. I just need to like have a fresh slate and start from scratch, and then I can let go of like any expectations that I used to have. But it kind of comes creeping back whenever I post something on there. So I really want to get rid of that feeling more than anything. And if starting again helps me feel better, then I think that's better than keeping a big account just for the sake of like having had it for so long. And it is a bit of a shame, because I do like to have like that archive of my old posts on there, because I accidentally deleted my Tumblr and I like bombed all my tweets last year. Yeah, which I semi regret, but not. Instagram is the only one which has a lot of my old work still on there intact, and so yeah, it would be kind of a shame to get rid of that. So I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it, but I've been thinking about it a lot. It's kind of an indication to me that I should just do it. Anyway, we should try and attempt again to look through the book. Okay, I'm getting past the first few pages. Oh. Okay, this is recycled silk paper, which is more similar to Sketches 2019. It's all smooth paper. Oh, that's cool. And then this one is just recycled, what's it called? Recycled uncoated paper. And I think I'm leaning towards this one for the inside pages. I just love how flat, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I love the look of it because it just makes it look more, it's really been drawn on the paper, even though it's digital. I didn't even have an inside cover to print in here. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, this was nice too. Oh, it's a difficult choice. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I can show you the loyalty card page because you've already seen the artwork. I changed this thickness from 170 GSM paper to 150, and I'm not sure if that's what's making me change my mind. I think that's what's fooling me a little bit because this one feels really nice because the paper's super thick, and this one still feels nice but it's a little bit thinner. What if I just print one final sample with the new cover and 170? Oh no, printing 170 is kind of expensive. I'm trying to stick within a budget this time because there's no conventions, and so selling books is a little bit harder because the shipping, it can be really high. And also the pound has gone up to the US dollar, so it looks like my prices are more expensive, but it's just because the currency exchange isn't as good as it was before for you guys. The color reproduction is better on the silk because the recycled absorbs the color a bit more. I still think it's nice. This one feels nicer in the hand. I think it's the cover though. It's like laminated. Even though this one's thicker, it's more floppy. Yeah. I think people prefer this because they can open it better. So, spoiler, they can open it better. So when they are looking at it, it's easier to view. Oh, this is so hard. No, why did I do this to myself? If you limit your choices, you're better off. I have printed uncoated before with my traditional, what was it called? My traditional sketch log. The really thick one. Guys, I'm so excited for you to have this. I didn't really think I would have enough to make a zine, but I have so many. I have so much art here. This size is the best size. And my battery's, oh my god, I've been filming for like 20 minutes. My battery's going. But yeah, this size is my favorite size of all the sketch zines, and I will update you with what I decide in the end, but it's going to be a tough decision. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Yeah, bye. Hello. Does this look familiar? I realised I haven't filmed a lot of the process of this year's sketches book, and I'm just working on the final pages. So I'm on Mixam's website right now, and this is usually the case for any printers. If you want to reduce or add the number of pages, you have to do them in multiples of 4. Originally I had 98 pages, but I had to cut down to 96. I was working on the misc miscellaneous sketches, which are these ones, which basically are any sketches I did that aren't really my OCs. So it's like one page of girls. Actually, she is one of my favorite drawings, so I'm kind of sad that I have to cut her. But there you go. She gets a little cameo on the vlog. So also this one, I really like this one. I'm not sure how I feel about some of these. I think I can cut out quite a lot. It kind of feels a bit weird to tack these on to the end of like 80 plus pages of OC sketches. It feels like it ruins the theme a bit, like it ruins the cohesiveness of the whole book, or the viewing experience of the book, especially because they're going to be right at the end. It's just kind of going to be a bit weird to like end it randomly. Well, maybe it won't be, but I feel like it might. And so I've just had a look at my pages here, and I was counting them, and I thought, okay, if I cut 3 more spreads, sorry, then it brings it down to 88 pages, or 88 sides. I can't do maths right now, but I had 92 sides with the 3 spreads. I don't know how cutting 6 pages makes it 88 sides. Okay, so basically I can't count, and the book has 84 pages, not 88 pages. Ooh, I feel like 84 pages is less than I want it to be. I want it to be at least 88 pages. If it's 84 pages, I could upgrade the paper. I really like this face. And I don't know. I think I owe it to myself to make just an OC book, because I've been doing sketch logs and sketch collections for such a long time. It kind of shows my progression through like drawing random stuff and then focusing more on my OCs. I still draw a lot of like misc things, but I guess they are very stream of consciousness kind of things. I don't know, maybe I will add them. This is so hard now. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this decision, because whenever I look at sketches 2019, I always think like the random sketches are just kind of odd, because almost 90% of this book is OCs. I feel like it's a much more cohesive project than the previous books I've made, and it's nice. I think it's like the direction I want to head anyway, to focus on my OCs. Okay, actually this is probably one of my favourite drawings as well in the zine. I used to draw a lot of things like this. Very inspired by Claire Wendling. Although I'm not really known to draw things like this. I used to draw things like this a lot, so to me it doesn't feel weird at all. It's actually fairly easy for me to draw as well, compared with what I usually draw, which never makes sense, but I guess like the things you draw when you're younger, you just absorb it much more. I've been trying to like absorb everyone else's energy today, which I hope is helping, but I've just been left a little bit drained. Just thought I'd show you guys my Sketches 2020 sticker perks. They're finally correct. I've been having a lot of manufacturing issues the past year, basically since the pandemic started. And so like every order I've made or every piece of merchandise I've ordered has basically had issues. This one is no different, unfortunately, but luckily Sticker Craft have been nice enough to like reprint the stickers. Actually, let me just show you. The first time wasn't too bad, but this is the first time I ordered with them without emailing one of their team. And on the website it says you can ask for a proof before it goes into production if you write it in the comments, so that's what I did. But for some reason my order was just sent straight to print and so there was quite a big error, at least from what I expected it to be like. And at first I really didn't like them, but after having them for like a couple weeks, I think they're actually quite nice. First time I printed with them, I printed my Block and Brick stickers that came with Sketches 2019. Do I have it on hand? Let me try and find it. Here. Okay, so this is the sticker I printed, the brick one, which I really like the style of. It's holographic, but the border is white. And I thought that was like a standard thing they did, because I didn't configure these. The person who helped me, one of their team helped me. By default, their borders are not actually white, they keep the hollow. So that's what happened with the first round. See how they have a hollow border? Might not pick it up so well in this lighting. And also the hollow isn't in all the places I wanted it to be in. So I asked about why it was like this and they said it was because this is the default and I didn't know. But they were nice enough to reprint them for me. And I asked in the reprint if I could have another proof, if I could be sent a proof before the reprint gets printed, but they already sent the reprint to production, so I couldn't even alter anything on the designs. And so I was like, oh, this is the second time my request for a proof has been ignored. So the reprint came and I thought, oh, I'll just have to settle with these and have the hollow in like not all the places I wanted it to be in. But then another problem arose, which is kind of bizarre because things kind of worked out better in the end, but I'll explain what happened first. The Block and Brick sticker have a thicker border than the John and Key one, and this one's a bit off center, but I think it's okay. It's acceptable. And so I was like, the stickers don't look like they go together when they're next to each other. And I was like, oh no, I'll have to email them again. And I really didn't want to at that point because I felt like I was being really fuzzy, but at the same time not, because I never got the proof in the first place. So I don't know if it's really my fault, but it's kind of bizarre that the borders were different, so I just emailed them and they were really nice about it this time. I asked if I could just reprint the Block and Brick sticker because I actually prefer the thinner border, and also the hollow is missing in less places on the John and Key design, so I just thought I will live with that. There should be hollow on the shoes too, but it's not there. But it's okay, it still looks nice. I actually really like that one over the Block and Brick one. And then yesterday the final ones came, final Block and Brick ones, and I ended up editing the file directly for where the hollow should be, and I think I'm just going to do that in the future because then it just guarantees like full control of where the hollow is going to be. But yeah, this is the final and the border is the same as the John and Key one. And it's really cute. There they are side by side. You can see this way more hollow. This isn't the best lighting to show you the hollow. So I finally have like a matching set. But I also have extras. I have these ones, these thicker hollow ones, and then also these Block and Brick ones with thicker border. And so I'm thinking all of the books now, not just the pre-orders, will be able to have some form of sticker. The ones with the thinner border probably won't last that long, but if you order you will still get some form of sticker. So yeah, I'm glad that that's kind of sorted. I'm also sending to print right now the photo cards. I was going to print them with hollow at first, and then I thought maybe spot UV would look nice, and so I kind of was comparing like my hollow stuff to my spot UV cards that I printed before, and I was thinking, oh well, I think the spot UV would actually look kind of cooler and a bit more, not unique, but the fact that I have a lot of hollow stuff already right now, like my loyalty card is hollow, my business card is hollow, I thought it would be nice to have a bit of variety, so I'm going for spot UV. And I'm currently using a company called Stress Free Printing to print a sample of the dust jacket for the covers of Sketches 2020, which is actually gonna be a thing if they can print it, because they're saying they could probably do it and also fold them for me as well, like have them pre-folded, which would be great. They have really great service, Stress Free Printing, at least like customer service, because I've been sending emails about that sample, so I thought, okay, I could probably get the cards from this website then. So I tried to order it actually this morning and I ordered the wrong thing, so I had to cancel it, and then I'm just making sure it gets refunded before I make the actual order, because I don't need them just yet and their turnaround is really quick. And yeah, all these logistic stuff, like having to calculate and align everything and to make sure like they all arrive at the same time, same with like packaging. Yeah, this always happens with like books, so I don't want to ever leave anything too last minute, because then it delays when I can send out the orders. And I'm actually really excited about this book, but just gotta figure out all this admin stuff right now and like actually get a book printed, which I'm getting very close to, very close to. I know I've like spent way more time than I wanted to initially on this book, but I think it's actually worth it in the end to put out something I'm proud of. And also, my shoulder was not great for a while. I was having a lot of just pains in this arm in general. I couldn't really do much throughout February, so that set me back like a whole month. And then in March, I was streaming every weekday, which actually really helps because it got me into like a good routine. And then in April, what was I doing? April just flew by, but I was doing all the layouts, and then in May I was adding all the colors and stuff, and also streaming twice a week, and also teaching like a mentorship thing once a week. So May was very hectic, and my shoulder was doing okay actually. With my Cintiq it doesn't aggravate it, but I used my intros for like one day to just format some stuff, and I realized like I just can't use it. Even I don't think I can use it anymore for design work or anything, because it just messes up my shoulder. And so for the past few days I've been nursing my shoulder a bit and like working less, because I don't want to overdo it right at the end. I think I would suck so much, so I'm being careful. It's not actually hurting right now, which is good sign. I've been doing stretches and reading this book that my friend bought for me, Draw Stronger. It's actually really good. It's really helpful to like understand what exactly is going on and like what I can do to strengthen it and to stretch it as well, or like not stretch it because actually it's being overstretched. I have quite a lot of vlog footage now, I think, but it's a lot of just me talking at you guys, which I don't know if you mind or not. I think you're okay with it, right, at this point? I think that's why people come to my channel. At least like this is the easiest type of thing for me to film, because I'm not like someone who can vlog a lot. I don't have a lot of energy to be like setting up all the camera angles and like making everything look aesthetic, because I'm too busy like thinking about the art or like packing or whatever. Like I try, and I would like to get better at that, and I think if I had a bit of help that would also make it easier for me to be able to free up space in my brain to do those types of things. But for now I'm like, I just want to update and talk to you guys because it's been a while, and I like to know what you guys are doing too. And yeah, I just want to show you what I've been up to, or tell you what I've been up to. I might edit this clip, see if I have a short vlog. I usually have other types of footage, but this one might just be talking. Oh, I guess I'll show you the cards. I've been using this feature on Photoshop called artboards. Let me show you what they look like. So these are the 4 cards. And this is how the layers are set up. So I've put them in 4 separate artboards. So these aren't folders, like layer folders, they're artboards. They each like have, essentially they each have their own canvas within one file. And it's so good, you can like export them in one go, and it's almost like using an action, because it just does, it saves like all 4 files as a PDF without me having to like have 4 separate PSD files. Like, oh my god, it's such a good feature. And you can also make these artboards different sizes, so I've been using them in a little bit. When I discovered what they were, I was like, what? This is so cool. And what I would do now is like I'll have a painting, and then on next to it I'll have like the resized version for like social media or like for online use. Not that I've been posting anything, but let me just quickly show you what the UV will look like on the finals. So this will be where the spot UV is, and the signatures will not be spot UV, so you'll see them when you like move the card around. Each zine comes with 1 card at random, so I hope you get who you want, and if not, I was thinking of doing some sort of trading channel on my Discord that you could trade cards, but I don't know how many people would want to do that, so I have like, I don't know, maybe something to think about in the future. Yeah, I could show you the dust jacket, but I think I'll show you that when I have the actual thing. Oh no, wait, I did a kind of prototype for myself that I stuck together, so I will show you that at some point. But yeah, I think that will be it. I did a session with my trainer this morning, and it was the first session I've had in literally months. It was much needed though, and I kind of really enjoyed it because it gave me the perspective I needed on like where I am right now. Luckily, like my form is still pretty good, it's just that I've lost quite a lot of strength. So it's just a case of like building that back up and like improving my diet. But we're also working on strengthening my shoulder, because I've been having a few problems with it since February. Yeah, since like the end of January. So I really have to like address my setup and everything. Today there's no pain there, but now the pain has radiated to my forearm. I've been working on my book and just finishing off the final pages. And I just really want to get it done, but I can't push myself to the point where it hurts, because then I will have to literally take off like a whole week or something, and I can't really afford to do that, so I'm just kind of like picking at the pages. I think this one was probably aggravated from the workout this morning, even though we try to avoid arm exercises. Yeah, I can show you the page I'm working on. It's pretty much done. I just need to like clean up a bit of the sketch because I just threw it in there. Which is usually the case for when I'm doing the book. Most of the work I have to do is add like any colors or values and clean up some of the sketches, because when I actually do sketch I tend to just keep everything very loose, because I'm in a different type of mindset. So it's kind of like, you know like writers when they write their books and then they edit them after. This is like the editing process for me, and then the like creation and creative, like the writing portion, like the drawing portion, is like a separate kind of mindset I have to be in. But I'll show you all the pages. Oh, it looks like a lot. Well, it is a lot. I might tweak a few of the colors on some of them because I'm not like super happy with them, especially the ones that I did first, because I tend to get into a better groove as I go along, and so the pages I did first don't look as good usually as like the ones that I figure out later. With this book I've learned a lot of new processes with Clip Studio, and like how to make certain effects that I didn't really know how to do before. Like I think the sketches look more complete as they are. Like I don't have to like render them, I don't have to like paint them for them to look complete, and I like that because I like simple styles. And even though I think the finished product for like a fully rendered painting is nice, when I do them I don't have the capacity to paint a lot. I much prefer sketching and drawing, so I'm quite happy to leave a lot of these sketches like rough and just with like simple colors or flat colors. It's what I tend to prefer anyway. And then I think I'm just gonna move in the direction with my art where I'll kind of do this anyway, but writing it down I think helps, because I think for a long time I've been like thinking, oh, I will eventually have a better process with painting so then I can paint more, but then I'm kind of like, well, I actually just like sketching, so it's more like realizing what I do enjoy and then like just doubling down on that. There's no point in forcing myself to create certain styles if it's not really like what I'm drawn to naturally. And so I think I'm just gonna save painting for like design work or merchandise, things like that, covers, like things that really like need to have quite a high level of finish. And then I'm just going to keep my simple style or like sketch style for my comics, and also just for like not designs but like concepts. And so like when I'm drawing concepts and doing those types of things, I don't mind keeping them rough and like flats or just black and white. I'm really enjoying black and white right now, which like values. So a lot of these pages are black and white or just with one colour, so like monochromatic, and I really like that look. So a lot of these I didn't add colour. I actually think the whole thing would look cool in black and white, but I mean colour is appealing too, but at the same time it's like you can get away with a lot more if you make a black and white comic versus making a coloured comic. And I'm not saying that in a bad way either. I'm thinking like you can actually make it enhance the experience, because you can leave a lot to the viewer to interpret when you're drawing in black and white in comparison with colour, because when the more details you add, the less, if your panels are like super polished, I think it detracts away from the movement of the story. I think it's rare to find a coloured comic that uses the colours in a way that goes hand in hand with the storytelling. Perhaps that's just because like when you add colour, it's another element to juggle within like what you're, because I feel like comics is like you're literally having to do so many things at the same time and make them all work together. That's always why I've been like super intimidated about making them, but I'm learning a lot about how things are broken down and kind of like figuring out what I like. And so because there's so many choices and styles that you could make one in, it's like, okay, well, like in my case it's not just I'm just going to draw it this one way because that's the only way I can draw it. For me, I've been testing out different types of levels of detail and like I guess styles and lines and colours and black and white and like textures, and eventually I'm going to have to narrow it down to a specific choice. But yeah, huge tangent there. That's like my next project, so we should focus on this one for now. I'm actually kind of like really excited about wrapping this one up so then I could just work on my other projects. Oh, this one's one of my a lot of my favorite pages are the black and white ones. Don't want to give too much away right now. I should have it printed soon. Yeah, I think I spoke about the misc sketches I cut out of this one in the end, which I think was a good choice. I need to still write the foreword, make it sound so fancy. I need to write on the inside cover like not intro, but like I kind of like to write a little message to people who buy the book. It's been a lot of fun to work on this one. It's like there's so much freedom that I've had. Of course I get freedom on my projects, but this one is like absolute freedom because I've not really posted any of these sketches online, so I'm not like scared of changing anything and just experimenting a lot. It's been a lot of experimentation and just throwing stuff together and being like, oh, this looks cool, and just running with it and then learning things that way. Because when I think back to when I was younger and I was learning Photoshop for the first time, I remember just like messing around a ton with every little feature, all the settings and stuff that Photoshop has. This book has let me do that, but with Clip Studio, and they are similar anyway, so I know how to do most things on Clip Studio, but there are certain things that I've never really dove into before or like tried, such as gradient maps. I've used quite a few gradient maps in this book, and so I've learned how like different ways on how to like use those, finding a method of like how I like to use it and where I can use it consistently to get a particular result. And also textures, which is something I used to use a lot more, but then I kind of just fell into this mindset where I was like, I'll have to do everything digital in a way where I can actually imitate it traditionally. Because I originally started as a traditional artist, I wanted my digital method to be able to be replicated in a traditional format, because originally I actually wanted to stick with traditional, still draw digitally for a bit, but then kind of bring it back to traditional and like emulate the style, same style, but traditionally. But then over time, I kind of just was like, got really into digital art and then thought, well, at this point, I'm just not taking advantage of all the digital tools if I limit myself to painting everything like straight off using the color wheel and like having to pick all the colors myself, or like having to lay them down like flat and just paint like basically how you would paint traditionally, pretty much, like, which I think was valuable and I learned a lot doing it that way. But I think now I want to explore more, be more experimental with the medium, because you can do so many things with like digital, it's crazy, and you can achieve really cool like looks that you just could never really emulate. So yeah, that is what I've been doing, and it's been really fun. I always learn a lot when I do these books because it is like a really hardcore session of like paint, like adding color or like finishes to my art, and I always try and like evolve the process. Well, not, I don't like intentionally think, oh, this has to be better than the previous one, but I always try and like learn something new, or like I just accidentally just stumble across things just out of kind of coincidence. And also I think every year my standard gets a bit higher because of just like my eyes and stuff change, so naturally my ideal level of finish increases. And so I think this one is my favorite so far. But it's kind of weird because 2019 was a bit of an outlier for me because I felt like that book was like a survival book. I was having a hard time drawing that year. Like my confidence was really bad and it was really hard to draw that year. And at the end of the year, I was just happy that I had any sketches at all. And so I put that book together as a kind of like a memory of like that year and what it meant to me, and how I grappled with lots of like identity things about doing the art thing and like what I'm doing. Whereas this year it's more like just fun and games. It's like I really kind of found my groove, I think. I know a lot more about what direction I want to go in, and also like I'm just generally pretty happy with enjoying the journey and slowly improving and learning stuff. That's what this one is about. Yeah, I look at my OCs and I think, wow, they've like really kind of grown into themselves this year, or this past year. Maybe because there's just no pressure about posting. I really think that taking a break really helped me reframe a lot of things in my mind, even though 2020 was really hard personally. Art-wise, like I didn't do a lot of work last year in terms of like new merch or making designs and like actually doing a lot on my projects. It was more like learning new skills. I took a bunch of classes, I learned a lot of stuff. I actually did some teaching as well, I think I mentioned that. So I learned a lot from that, which is really interesting. Yeah, just kind of push myself a little bit. It hasn't always been like this amazing growth. It has been like super low points in 2020 to the point where I'm just like not happy, like not in a good place. Mentally, like I was really struggling in, was it like September, October, really bad. But I kept going. Yeah, I wanted to embody the idea of like post-traumatic growth, although I know that can sometimes be a lot to expect from yourself. Anyway, tangent. Keep going on tangents today. So yeah, this one represents my departure from, I don't know, not a departure, but maybe a sense of knowing. No, this book represents me throwing away a lot of insecurities that I had about the process of, oh, scared me. This book really means a lot to me because I think it marks quite a big change for me mentally with like how I approach my art, and like how I'm leaving behind a lot of doubts that I had, and I'm leaving behind a lot of just like insecurities and ideas about like what I should be doing maybe. I think I also left behind a lot of my own expectations of myself, because I realize even if I let go of other people's expectations, I still hung on to like the expectation I had for myself, which is like just as bad, which is essentially the same thing as having other people's expectations on you. So it's a pretty pure book, I'd say. Not that I always struggled with it, but when I was first starting out, I remember being like really nihilistic about my art and being like there is no meaning to it, or like it doesn't matter if I make this thing or not. Whereas now I kind of understand more that, or like I've changed my view, like my views have changed a lot since then. Like I think art is so meaningful. Obviously there's all these thoughts, like subconscious thoughts that go into it, but even if there is no conscious thought that goes directly into a certain piece, it's fine. It's still an expression of existence and being, and all it has to do is exist, and that's all it needs to do. There's no need for me to put an extra layer or expectation or pressure onto my drawings as well. Like that's kind of what I realized like I had been doing for a long time, and I've just like I'm gonna write all this in the foreword. I've been thinking about it. I wrote a bunch of stuff down that I'm gonna rephrase and just put in the book as like the message. But yeah, like all my art has to do is exist, and that's it. That's enough for me. And it's just playing its part. Like whatever ends up happening after that is just the effect of it existing, rather than having it have to mean anything or having it have to service a particular purpose necessarily. This is the first time I'm articulating this out loud, and I'm also hyper aware about my window being open and everybody can hear me. And me sounding like super pretentious about this art thing or something. But yeah. I'll try again another time. Good afternoon. I thought I'd just show you this before I close down the file. I think I raved on about artboards in a previous clip, and I just want to show you how nice it looks all together sometimes when I'm like formatting files for social media. So these two are formatted for Twitter and the top three were Instagram, but in the end I used these three for Twitter and these two on Instagram. The design is my John design that I created to match my key sketchbook design that I made like 3 years ago now, if I think about it, which is insane. The thing is, like, I actually wanted to use a different type of how do you call it, value scale with the painting, because I'm quite liking low contrast and like rare, very pale colors right now. And so I was like fighting with what to do whilst I was working on it, because I did have to match the other design kind of, at least in terms of it not looking completely different, like a different style. But at the same time, it's like they're 3 years apart, so they're gonna look different, like it's inevitable. Like with the key one, I was like, oh my gosh, like the proportions of how I drew him, like I just would not draw him that way now. So it's gonna be a sketchbook design, but obviously that will be the front, that will be the back, rather than this way around. And then they're also gonna be bookmarks. So I'm reprinting the key bookmarks, they're gonna have a comeback. And then I've made the matching John ones, so I'm really excited for these. They're gonna be holographic broken glass like they were the last time I had them printed. Let me just zoom in for you. The key one, like you can tell like there's more contrast in this design. In some ways I prefer the shapes in the flowers here to this one, because there's a lot more like white space, which makes the flowers stand out more. But then at the same time, I liked the way I did certain things on this one, but I was a lot more like abstract and less like this one I really went in there and like cleaned up everything, whereas for this one I kept quite a lot of things loose. But I kind of liked it that way. I didn't want to like overdo the rendering. I don't like it when it's like too over polished. But overall, I'm really happy with this painting. I think it's really, I think it came out nicely, considering it was a little bit of an uphill battle at first, and I've not painted a lot this year, so I'm finding my process is a little tough to get a grip on. But yeah, I really like how his face came out, because whenever I paint John, his face just comes out. It just gives me the hardest time, and he still gave me a hard time this time, but I managed to kind of fix it, I guess. Like, And what happened was I started this painting in like February. Well, I worked on it up until it was almost done, but I wasn't very happy with his face, and so I just left it for like 3 months. And then when I came back to it, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like repaint his face and like clean up everything else. Yeah, I just finished it in that one day, and then I literally painted this the day after, and I find it really quick if I already have the colors that I need worked out in all the values. I find painting actually quite a quick process, because I drew this and painted this one in less than 4 hours, which is really good for me. Which I found, yeah, surprising. I was like, oh wow, I did this in like a day, so that was good. But it's also because I kind of like cheated with the flowers. I repurposed like some of this one into that one and then just painted over it. So I guess there is that. I also got the photo cards today, but I can't show you because, okay, I can show you the block one, because the block, actually maybe I should show you, because I show you guys these, even the things that go wrong. So here is a problem that occurred. So the Spot UV cards came. I really like the finish. These ones are like a double UV and the print's really nice. I'm pretty happy with this one, but then the other 3 designs didn't come out right. I did email them just now and they gave me a really quick response and saying that they did request for someone to have a look at these because they were concerned about the signatures, but I guess it didn't get passed through, and so it slipped through the cracks. And I got these ones which don't really work because the signatures aren't clear at all and the UV's like blended into itself. But I was told that if I supply some vector layer instead right now, then they will be doing a reprint for me, which is great. So yeah, I'm just thinking, hey, excuse my hand, like I got sunburnt. So I'm gonna do that now, use the pen tool on Photoshop to just go over the signatures, and then hopefully they'll come out correctly. Oh my gosh, I love this. Can you tell which is my favorite? Actually, the key one was really hard to do. I don't know why. I just couldn't get anything. Like, I just couldn't get his face right. I still don't think I did a good job on his face, but it's okay. The other 3 I really like. The other 3 are so them. I think I like the brick one. Let's be real. I don't know. These 2 are so nice. I always put these 2 together sometimes and like I don't let my brain go there because I don't know what will happen. I'm currently exporting the book to, oh there you go, for print, getting all the crop marks and things. So this will be kind of the final, although I am actually printing another sample just because I wanted to see what the colours of the cover will turn out like. So I did play around with the idea of the dust jacket that I was talking about. I called it slipcover, but they're actually called dust jackets. And I contacted a company for a bespoke quote and I received a sample and it looks like this. I haven't actually designed the whole thing because I wasn't sure what to put on these flaps yet, or if I would just leave them quite empty. I feel like it looks a bit faded. I know like the painting itself is very low contrasting. It does have very soft colours, but when it's printed it kind of just makes it look like the colours are really washed out, even though it is intentional. And also I think this printer did print the colours slightly lighter than I see them on my Cintiq anyway, so it looks even more washed out. But I've kind of gotten used to it. Like, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to go with the dust jacket because the material is uncoated and it's silk and it's uncoated and it's quite thick, and so I wanted to ask if I could get it on 170 gram gloss paper, and they said that they couldn't make a sample with that specification, but they can make the bulk order with that spec, and I'm like, not so sure if I want to risk that because I could just end up with so many dust jackets that I'm not actually happy with. So I just asked for a regular sample, like their standard samples for the paper types, so I can see what the gloss would be like. I kind of want a coated dust jacket, but they're hard to come by, I think, unless you go to an actual book publisher who does those types of things. And I asked Mixam as well, and they said they only do the dust jackets for their hardcovers, and so I might just have to like scrap that dream of a dust cover. So for now I'm printing a sample. I'm actually printing 5 copies. It works out cheaper, and because the book is pretty much done, all the pages are done, I can sell these as like technically B grades or like a little bit cheaper for those who don't mind any like small changes that I'll make from this one. I'm getting the sample so I can test the thickness of the 170 gram, because I did mention that the recycled one I got last time was 150 gram, this one, and I wanted to just see, because I took out all the misc pages, which were about 12 in total I think, it would make the book substantially thinner, and I do really like this thickness, so I thought if I could probably go for the thicker paper and it will be a similar thickness. But the downside to that is that the envelopes I have that I test, well, I bought a single envelope to test this time, I didn't buy like a whole batch. The envelope I kind of want to use only just fits this one, and so this one is slightly thick for that envelope, whereas this one fits really well, and so I don't know if it's gonna work out, but I just want to see anyway, so I'm gonna order the 170 and see if it fits in the envelope I have. And if not, I do have a box style thing that I could use instead for the orders, but I'm also thinking if I don't go for the dust jacket, it's probably not worth using those, because even though they're cheaper than the envelope, they take a lot of time to like build and assemble, and an envelope is just much easier since there's going to be a lot of orders pack anyway. I'm trying to make it a lot easier and smoother than it was last time, because last time was just a nightmare with the envelopes I had, and I was just like too stubborn to buy new envelopes, and I just ended up having to like tape every single order, like the corners of every single book, and in hindsight I'm kind of just like, I should have just bought new envelopes. And then I'm also going to put up the digital version maybe this weekend. I'm just gathering up everything, and I'm gonna take a break I think for like a couple days because I've been working non-stop. And I would like to get this vlog out actually, because I think I have enough footage. Oh, some other things arrived too, but I don't know if I've filmed them. I don't think I have. I might see if I can add those in too. But yeah, cool. I will get this sent off then.